Hi everyone, this is Dave from Geekanoids and this is my full review of the Apple 2010 MacBook Air. Now if you haven't been following my channel, there are a lot of videos on this MacBook Air, so please do check them out. They may well answer some of your questions. Now the first thing I just want to cover off is what's available in the range and also what model I've got here. Well, the MacBook Air comes in two different size screens, an 11-inch screen and a 13-inch screen. The 11-inch model comes with a 1.4 GHz Intel Core 2 Duo processor and either 64 GB or 128 GB of flash storage. Now if you go up to the 13-inch range, which is what this one is, this is a 13-inch model, then you get a 1.8 GHz Intel Core 2 Duo processor and either 128 GB of flash storage or 256 GB. Now this is the 13-inch model. This has got 128 GB of flash storage and that's going to cost you £1,099, so just over £1,000 in the UK. Now I did also have this one upgraded to 4 GB of RAM and I think that added on around about £70 or £80 to the cost. Apart from the laptop, you do get the iLife 11 suite of applications, and that includes things like iPhoto, iMovie, iWeb, and a few other bits thrown in as well. So you do get a sort of starter application or suite of applications to get you up and running. Now, I want to cover off the bad points first on this particular machine, and there really is only one for me, and that is the actual finish on the machine. Now I love these sort of brushed aluminium finishes on Apple's laptops, but they are very, very delicate. Now I've been lucky enough to treat this one extremely well in the 2 or 3 weeks that I've had it, but it does scratch very easily. Previous Apple MacBooks and MacBook Pros in this finish have marked very easily, and it is very annoying when you've got such a lovely looking laptop to actually mark it, so be very, very careful. It is my plan to install one of those invisible shields on this MacBook Air to at least protect the top. I'm not too worried about the underside, but certainly I will be installing the top shield just to protect this lovely finish on the top. Now let me just give you a quick look around the outside of the laptop before I open it up again. On this side we've got a USB 2 port, an SD card reader which reads SD, SDHC and SDXC memory cards, and then we've got an output there called a mini display port connector, and that allows you to plug this into an external monitor. If you haven't got a mini display port monitor, you can get adapters for this. Now look at how thin that is from the front profile. You've just got a little cutout here to help you open up the laptop. And then on this side we have got the input for the MagSafe power adapter for charging the laptop. We've also got another USB 2 port, headphone socket and a little microphone input there. And then round the back we've just got that black hinge, and then on the base we've just got some sort of rubberized feet to stop it from moving around on your desk. So very nice design. Let me just plug my power supply back in here again, and this is a MagSafe power adapter, and it actually pulls itself in via a tiny little magnet into the body of the laptop, so it's nice and secure once it's located in there and charging. We've also got a little LED, not sure if the camera will pick that up, but it changes from amber to green once it's fully charged. So one of the big selling points of this new MacBook Air is it uses flash storage. So there's no moving hard drives in there, and that does a couple of things. One, it does great battery life, but it also means you've got sort of instant on, so it's ready to use as soon as you open up that screen. The other big selling point for me is the thinness. Look at how thin this screen is, and super thin. I think it's something like I think it was 4mm, something like that, of thickness on this screen. Just a super thin screen. In fact, let me just check that for you. Let me go on to the details about the high resolution display. I'm on the Apple website as I'm doing this review. There we go. So it's 4.86mm, this screen, from this point here to the thickest point at the back. so under 5mm screen thickness. Absolutely superb. Now let me get the tech specs up, because I can't remember all this, but the weight of this machine is also absolutely superb. It weighs, on the 13-inch model, 2.9 pounds. This is super light. Very light laptop. Compared to the MacBook that I was carrying around, this is brilliant, because you hardly even know it's there. 2.9 pounds of weight for a 13-inch laptop. How cool is that? Now, the other thing I like is just the responsiveness. Now, I have covered this off in the performance video, but everything seems to be so snappy when you're using it. I use iPhoto a lot, and it is just so quick at opening up and at doing quick edits on photos. Just super responsive. Loving the performance of this machine. Now, it might only have a 1.86 gigahertz processor in here, but it certainly doesn't feel like it, and I think that's really down to the flash storage that they're using and the internal architecture of the machine. It just feels so responsive and an absolute joy to use. Using it for internet browsing is also a pleasure. You've got this large trackpad on the bottom, which makes it really nice for scrolling around documents. It's a multi-touch trackpad as well, so it does all different gestures, so I can actually use sort of 3-finger gestures to move backwards and forwards between web pages. You can even use a 4-finger gesture, which brings up your application switcher on the screen. Not sure if I showed you that properly on the camera, but at the moment I'm on my web browser. Perhaps I've got iPhoto launched as well, and if I do this 4-finger gesture on the trackpad, it actually brings up this application switcher, and then I can switch between applications really easily. So it does a great job, this trackpad. Very responsive, and the whole trackpad is actually a button as well. So if I click on something, I'm actually clicking anywhere on the trackpad and it picks up that click. So let's quit out of iPhoto and just cover off some of the other brilliant aspects of this machine. The keyboard as well. Let me just zoom in a little bit on this keyboard for you. This is a chiclet style keyboard, and it is very nice to use for typing on. Nicely spaced keys, quite a low profile. These are sort of recessed down into the body of the laptop, so that when that screen's closed, the screen doesn't actually touch the keys. Now, one of the things that Apple got rid of on the new MacBook Airs was the backlit keyboard. Now, that is a little bit of a shame, because I do like backlit keyboards, but it's not too bad, because if you're working in a dark room, you've got the brightness of the screen lighting up the keyboard a little bit anyway, so I think it's sort of a non-issue. It was just a luxury to have that backlit keyboard on the previous model. The actual feel of the whole laptop, this brushed aluminium finish, is really luxurious. Something else I really like, which is on the other MacBook Pros, is that you do get the black bezel on the screen. Well, on this screen we've got back to the silver bezel. Now, you can only get that on the MacBook Pros if you ordered a matte finish screen. Well, on this one you've got no option of the matte finish, but you do get this nice silver bezel. So what you're essentially getting here is a super light laptop, but it is capable of a lot more than just browsing the internet and emails and social networking, that sort of thing. You could quite happily use this for video editing and photo editing as well. I think this is a good companion for maybe somebody who does a lot of photography, and that's thanks to the decent performance and also this built-in SD memory card slot. I could see this being very useful for people taking their photos and then giving a quick sort of portfolio slideshow of what they've taken. For me, this is going to be used mainly for social networking and a bit of photo editing in iPhoto, and mainly just the portability factor is going to be great. It means that I can keep my website up to date whilst I'm out and about. Now, something else just to touch on is the Wi-Fi connectivity. This has got 802.11n Wi-Fi in, and that performs extremely well. Also been super happy with the battery life, and can't really complain at all. This is a very desirable laptop. Not only does it look superb, but it performs extremely well too. Well, thank you very much for watching. This was my review of the 13-inch Apple MacBook Air, the 2010 model. Is it worth the money? Well, yes, it is an expensive laptop, but you certainly do get what you pay for. You get super build quality, great performance, and a good all-round package. Well, thank you very much for watching. Please do come back soon and check out more video reviews on the Geekanoids channel.
This video review is sponsored by Crucial, the memory experts. They provide reliable PC, notebook and Mac memory to boost your system performance and improve your general workflow.